The tea with Novi and Jordy.
I'm so listening to this.
Only do bougie.
I honestly don't really like anyone.
Because fuck everyone else.
I'm a bad bitch. I'm just letting my lashes grow.
If it's not pink,
And glittery?
we don't want it. This was not on my itinerary.
Don't be such a fucking brat.
Oh my god.
Hey, brats. Welcome back.
Ooh. How was your guys' week?
I feel like it was a long week.
It was quite a long week.
And it just started again.
Let's all give a shout out to Nov. She
Oh.
finally took a step in the bad bitch direction. How are you taking them?
It depends on the day. For some reason at nighttime I get really bad anxiety and pretty much want to rip them off my face. And I'm still living on ibuprofen and Tylenol religiously.
I have
Wait.
Oh.
First things first, bottoms up, bitch. We almost forgot.
I knew. Bottoms up. Cheers. Didn't get us this week because we bought good ass beer.
Right? I was about to be like, that was a good one.
I had braces for 6 years, and so I give her all the ins, all the outs of, I don't know, just everything.
I feel like it was like I really, really wanted them my entire life. And so, as much as I fucking hate them, I'm super appreciative of them, especially since I'm paying for them out of my own fucking pocket. So,
Bad bitch.
appreciate them a little more.
Absolutely. Well, you look good, and you're going to look even better when they're off. I'm happy for you.
I feel like I look like a little kid.
Well, I mean, getting braces now, like as an adult, look at it this way. When you are in high school or like elementary or middle school, whatever, and you're getting braces, it's embarrassing because you're trying to be cute. Okay? You aren't at the stage where you're like trying to be cute for boys. You're at the stage where you're like, bitch, I want to fix my teeth. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's not like you're trying to impress
See, but at the same
boys.
time, I feel like it's mixed though, because when you're younger, it's more normal to have braces. Where now I'm like a grown ass adult, 25.
Who
with
put an
braces.
age limit on?
Me,
Okay, well,
bitch, me.
especially only having to have them for 2 years of
Yeah.
your life. That's 1%
Bro,
of your life.
Jasmine's gonna be 18 when I get these bitches off.
Damn.
That makes me want to cry.
Fucking Misha being 18 makes me want to cry.
Oh my god.
Hot topic.
Hot topic of the week. All right, so this one's gonna be about TikTokers. If you guys know them, you'll fucking understand. If you don't, go understand.
Yeah.
In Romeo we trust.
Hashtag in Romeo we trust. Fuck Rachel.
Rachel Reaver, we do not say good morning to you. So we'll give like a little insight, a little bit. There is.
It's just a really, it's a really long story to even like sit and have to touch on for a minute of the podcast. So we'll just, yeah.
We'll do a quick one, little rundown. So there's a C and Wit, okay? And C and Wit were best friends. C ended up getting together with a guy named Jacob, and they are now pregnant. I don't know. I think even the way that C and Jacob are taking the drama versus everybody else is taking the drama, you just see a lot of growth. Like,
yeah,
growth as fuck. But pretty much,
even in their lives, they're like, nope,
right.
I don't want to
So
mention it.
C and Jacob are having a baby. Jacob has a baby with Rachel already. Rachel ended up getting together with a guy named Romeo, and Romeo just posted all over TikTok how Rachel has been beating him up pretty much, and neglecting her son completely. So
Basically,
it's wild.
all these like ex-boyfriends of Rachel's came on and were like,
Yeah, no, she's fucking crazy.
that, and like, yeah, no, I changed him, I fed him, I put him to bed, like, that was me.
And she has a nanny that takes complete care of him. So
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
yeah, like,
That's wild.
and so Jacob just filed for custody, and we shall see what happens with that one. Cute.
I just love babies. Ugh, I could eat them.
Right, they're so precious. Makes me want to have another, and then I'm like, probably not.
Right, you love them until you can't hand them back.
Exactly.
So this week we are going to talk about November.
Last week, you guys got to learn about Jordan. And a lot of people actually messaged both of us. And I feel like a lot of you guys related.
Yeah, I really, even if I didn't reply to some of you guys, I really appreciate it. If I'm going to be honest with you, I told November after I did the podcast, we did the podcast last week on me. This whole last week has been like a self reflection week for me. Like, I have straight dove into a hole and just like gone over my life and just kind of
But did
like,
some healing too,
yeah,
which
no,
was
not in a
much
bad way.
needed.
Like,
So
in a way of like I'm just ready for my life to go in a positive direction. Like I'm happy with where I ended up in life. Very much so. So
I have anxiety for this week.
I know she's
Like really bad. So we shall see how this goes.
all right. Let's cheers one more time, cause
All right.
yeah,
My hands are literally sweating, bro.
we're gonna start off strong
Oh Lord.
with what was the dynamic with you and your dad, or with you and RK, which is what you call him.
When I was younger.
When you were younger, from when you were younger kind of to now, like what's the dynamic in a whole there?
Oh, I don't know how to answer these. Okay. So RK is my father. He's been in and out of prison my entire life. Since before me, since before my oldest brother. Um, and growing up, I chased after him a lot. I was the little girl that wanted her dad. I wanted the daddy daughter relationship that everybody, earns for as a little girl. Um, and it was hard because my dad was super, I don't want to say close, but close with my other three siblings. And for some reason with me, it was always different. He has told me plenty of times before that he just didn't give a fuck about me. Um, I don't really know the reasoning for it. Growing up, I questioned it a lot. But now that I'm 25 years old, it hasn't changed one single bit. We got into a pretty bad argument a few months ago. I want to say like literally probably almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And the first thing that he decided to throw at me, like always, was I don't care about you. He's like, I genuinely do not give a fuck about you. And at that point in time, it was finally my last straw, as I'm 25 years old now. And when you've told me this, my entire life, at some point, I'm going to start believing it, and as a grown ass adult, if you can still tell me the same thing, and me as a mom now, I could never respect you. And I will respect it at the same time. If you don't care, then I'm not going to push to be in your life by any means. I know what person I am. I know who he's missing out on. And I have a pretty dope ass son that he misses out on.
You're not crying, but you're about to make me cry.
I don't know. When I'm around him, I'm respectful.
Which he doesn't,
He doesn't deserve by any fucking means. Me and my sister were just talking about it today, that it's crazy the shit that he's done in his life. He is a lot of people's biggest monster, their biggest nightmare.
Because I remember the other day, we were kind of batting back and forth in voice memos with your sister. She had said something to me about RK that it like actually brought me to tears, and it was, I don't know why. And she said, don't take this wrong, November, because I love you, but he just treats her so much differently than he treats any one of us, and I don't know why. And
it makes you wonder, even as a grown adult, I never did anything wrong. As a kid, I was literally an angel. Like, I didn't get in trouble. I got myself ready for school. I went to school. I got good grades. Um, and the rest of my siblings were troublemakers. Like, skipped school every day, was in juvie, had the cops called, the whole 9 yards. And so I never, even to this day, I never will get it. Besides the fact that I will never forget when he told me that it's because I look just like my mom, and that ate me alive. Because it's not like I can choose to look. I'm
Who you
sorry,
look
like what the
like.
fuck. Um,
You pick like one of the only things that I could truly
ch-
never change.
change at all. Like, I'm sorry that I look like her, but at the same time, he, like I said, was a complete monster to a lot of people in the world. So at the same time, I'm not missing out on anything. He's the one
100%.
missing out on a lot, and I have forgave him as a child, but I will never forgive him as a parent. Um, and by that, now that I'm a mom, I will never, ever, ever understand him or forgive him for the way that he was a father to me, but I will forgive you for the person that you are. You can't change the person you are, and unfortunately, you're bred to be a very evil person. But you know when like people are serial killers, how they're just like bred to be serial
Well,
killers?
yes, a sociopath is like mentally
That's him.
right,
Like when
for
I
sure.
I truly think like he is a very evil person. Like fucking evil. The shit
Right.
that he's done to people, I mean, think
Well,
of
I
the
mean, think about it like this: your blood daughter, your kid, any of us who are parents. If you could even look at them, say you don't care about them, say I don't fuck with you because you look like your mom, anything like that, that to me is a sociopath in itself.
me and Michaela were talking today, and I will never forget the time um when we were little, the boys used to go over there for the weekend, and then the girls would go over for the weekend. So Jesse and Ronnie would go, and then me and Michaela would go the next weekend if he decided to come and pick us up. A lot of the time he wouldn't come and pick us up, but this time he had picked us up, and he brought us to like, I don't really even know where we were. I'm gonna be completely honest, like some apartment
This
hotel.
is when you live down in Sac.
Yeah, like I remember they were like green and white and blue, but I don't remember where the hell we were.
Right.
Um, and I remember it was late at night, and we had heard yelling, and me and Michaela were laying in the living room, and we looked over the balcony, and he was choking out my stepmom. And it was the first time that me and Michaela had ever seen him
Be like violent.
towards a female. Has done the worst of the worst to females. Things that you could see in a movie, he's probably done. And he beat the shit out of my mom for 10 plus years. Like, the worst of the worst that you can think of. But we always heard it. And so to see it, especially as a little girl, you really see like how scary and big he is. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's when it finally hit me that like,
Like your perception of him being evil starts from such a young age that it's like you would think nothing else of him.
right, you know, and everybody talked about it, but once you see it yourself, it's a whole different ball game. And I think that's when it finally hit me that like my father isn't who I have thought my father was as a little girl.
Before we end on RK, let me just kind of piggyback off of that question to something that Michaela had kind of asked. Um, do you not resent, that's not the right word, but are you upset with your mom at all for not bringing you to visit your dad in prison, kind of like Michaela's parent did, and keeping that relationship so that you guys, had the strong, same ride or die bond, kind of thing that they have, not that they have that, because not that RK's a good dad to her or anything by any means, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so as a little girl, yes. When I was little, I resented my mom a lot about it, a lot for it. I didn't, obviously, when my sister and my brother are going to see him, obviously,
Yeah.
I want to go see him. Not just that, it's not like I seen him a lot when he was out of prison. He would come around for the first couple months that he was clean, and then as soon as he started using, he would kind of come around a little bit. Like, I remember some childhood memories of like going to random people's houses and him being on drugs, literally sleeping and stuff. But for the most part, he didn't come around much. So it was like the only time that I could really build a relationship with my father was if I had went to the jails and prisons. Now that I'm older, I don't resent her at all for it. I completely understand. I don't see me taking Josiah to a jail or prison. I went to visit Jesse multiple times, and I would never want to take Josiah there.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere to, like
Bring a kid. It's not a place for kids.
not just that. It's like it's not a place that anyone wants to go. It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You leave there and you can't bring your loved ones home, and
Period.
it's hard. Every single time that I left leaving Jesse, I literally like bawled, sobbed my fucking eyes out leaving. So now that I'm older, no, not at all. When I was younger, for sure.
Yeah, I told November that, like, we touched on the fact that my mom passed away last episode and that she had been an addict and she had been very in and out of my life, kind of like that until she died. But for me, looking at it, not that one person's situation is harder or over the next, but to have a parent that's still here, alive in the world, and they're choosing presently to not have that relationship with you, bro, that's harder to me than, not actually getting to have a relationship with my mom because I
Gone.
physically can't. She's gone.
Right.
The fact that you can have a relationship with RK and he still chooses not to, bro, that breaks my heart for you.
It's hard. And it's hard because a lot of the time I try to act like it doesn't fuck with me, but it definitely still fucks with me for sure. I mean, I still cry about it, and like I said, I'm 25 years old, so I hope that one day it doesn't fuck with me anymore. It doesn't fuck with my sister as much as it did. Now she don't give two fucks at all. And I hope to one day honestly hit that point. I hope to not care. And I don't think that I will ever get to that point until the day comes that he genuinely sits down and lets me talk about the fucking trauma he put me through. Like, really sit down and listen to what the fuck you put all of us kids through, because he genuinely, I don't even think, realizes 95% of what he put us through or what we remember as a kid.
Right. And sociopaths do not have empathy, sympathy, guilt. They don't have that feeling that we have inside of us, that, like, when we do something bad, when we hurt somebody's feelings, like, you feel bad.
Yep.
They just don't have that.
Not at all.
Well, I mean, I would love to tell you that your next question is any better, but it ain't.
Of course.
How did you and your baby daddy Daryl break up, and why?
Okay.
All the love in the world to you, Daryl.
Okay, I do want to say we're okay. So me and my baby daddy's relationship was very, 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 very toxic. It was a roller coaster from start to finish. Me and him had broken up and I had moved in with my mom, but at this time we were still like fucking around, right? Like, I was at the house all the time. He'd hit me up in the middle of the night and be like, please come home,
Right.
and I would literally pack up Josiah fucking 1:30 in the morning like a fucking crazy person and go home and cuddle up in bed, like
Happy
aw.
family.
Yeah, okay. So the week before this happened, January 22nd, 2022.
She's got dates.
a week before this, I had been at his house, my motherfucking house.
That was my apartment, bitch.
Yeah, it was mine. I had been at the house for a week, maybe like a week and a half at this point. And I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings at this point. Who I'm like getting anxiety bringing this day up again. I'd worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I remember it was a Thursday. And if you guys know Thursday, it's like Boneless Thursday or whatever, so you get a deal, right? So I was getting ready to go home, and I had called him. It was like 9:30. And I was like, hey, do you want me to bring you any food? And he's like, no, I'm going to bed. And I remember thinking, like, you're going to bed? It's fucking 9:30. Like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm just super tired. I was like, okay, well, just know that you have Josiah in the morning. I'm coming to bring him to you.
Right.
You know, he was like, okay, like, just call me in the morning. Morning time comes. I text Daryl. I'm like, hey, Josiah's almost done with breakfast. I'm going to bring him to you when he's done. I don't get a response. I text him again. I'm like, hey, are you awake? Like, I'm coming to bring the baby to you. No response. I start blowing up his phone. No response. And at this point, you just know, right? So I have this gut feeling, and I'm like, fucking bet, bro. Like, I bet. So I pack Josiah in the car, and that's the only thing that I regret out of the entire fucking situation. But in a way, I don't regret, because I would be sitting in jail. Like 100, there's no saying I would be in jail right now if my son wasn't there. So I pack Josiah in the car, and I literally tell my mom, like, and she tells me, she's like, I bet you there's a girl there. And I was like, Mom, don't fucking tell me that.
Literally.
Like, you're going to see your daughter in jail.
That was like,
don't fucking tell me that.
Don't know.
I remember getting in the lane to like turn, right? And as soon as I turn, I see a fucking car sitting in my parking spot. Like the parking spot that like normally you would park in.
Like
that has
the empty one by his spot.
The one that has your fucking number on it to park there, okay? Oh, I'm like shaking just thinking about it. So I go and park, and I go and look inside the car, and there's like a picture hanging on her little window, right? And I'm like, oh, so it really is a bitch. Okay. So I go and I fucking bang on the door, right? And I remember the person like across, the neighbor across was like, they like come out, they're like, and I was like, no, this ain't for you. Don't worry. So I start banging again. Literally. So I start banging again. Well, me and the upstairs neighbor had fucking problems already. So she comes out and she was like, can you quit banging? And I was like, bitch, you don't want to start this. I'll fuck you up too.
This is not the time.
Right. So I fucking bang one more time. And Daryl comes to the door and he's like, what are you doing? I was sleeping. But okay, backtrack. Right before he opens the door, I heard the sliding glass door open to the backyard. Okay? And so I'm like, this motherfucker thinks I'm stupid. And so
their sliding glass door at that fucking apartment is heavy.
Like, you hear that bitch. And so he like opens the door. He's like, what are you doing? I'm sleeping. You're not fucking sleeping, the fuck. So he's like, that's the neighbor's car. Instantly, I'm like, I didn't even fucking ask about the bitch's car, so where is she? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, where the fuck is she? So I push the door open, I hand him Josiah, and I instantly go to the fucking back door, and there she is, curled up in a ball, just trying to hide from me. And I open the sliding glass door, I'm like, what's up, bitch? And she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you're sorry? I bet you are sorry, because you've seen all of mine and my son's shit here. So you can't say that you didn't fucking know about me. No. So I ended up grabbing her phone and her shoes and her keys and all that shit, chucked it out, snatched her up, threw her outside. Daryl at this point, like every time I'm going after her, Daryl's like pulling me back off of her, like, don't fucking touch her. And I'm like, you're gonna protect this bitch? Like, is this what we're doing right now?
Oh my god.
So she ends up going in the car, and I end up going out there, and I'm like, I'm not done with you. Like, no. I'm like, so where'd you find him? And she's like, online. I'm like, online's a pretty big fucking platform, bitch.
No,
where at?
Sure. That's
and she's
broad.
like, online. I said, bitch, I will literally punch your fucking window right now if you don't tell me where. And she's like, on Tinder. If you guys remember, me and Daryl met on Tinder, so that's weird. And I looked at him and I was like, seriously? Like, is this what we're doing? So I went back in the house. I punched a fat hole in his wall, screamed, cried, took my son, and then we went to court. And I will say, though, now, this is what I mean about I don't hold grudges. Me and him and her get along fucking
Yeah,
great.
hold on. You gotta backtrack and say the fact that baby daddy and this girl are still together.
Yes,
To
they're
this
still
day.
together to this day. She
Yeah.
ended up moving into the fucking house. But
And
I
now
will
she
say,
plays stepmommy, but
I
November
will
and I
say,
have different opinions.
yes. I honestly respect her. Yosai likes her a lot. She's super fucking good with Yosai. She knows her place. She knows that I am Yosai's mom. And I dare you to do anything to my son because I've snatched you up once. I'll snatch you up again.
Period.
But no, on some real shit, me and Daryl get along really fucking well. Me and Chloe get along really well. And a lot of people actually message me now, because they go through similar situations. And everything that I can say is if I can get over it and I can have
She tells me that with so many things.
if I can co-parent with my baby daddy, anybody can.
No, literally. Okay. Let's go over how was life for you as a stripper?
Let's see. Okay, so I don't want to glorifize it because I know a lot of people are going to be like, I know there's a lot of different ages that listen. But what I will say, becoming a stripper, pretty much every single female in the locker room has some type of trauma they're going through. You don't become one just for the fuck of it. To this day, I've never met anybody that became one because they
Didn't have a story behind it.
right, and they didn't come from some type of trauma. My childhood and things that I've been through was the reason I became one. I guess to get validation, I guess you could say, from people, from men, I guess. I've been self-conscious my entire life, so I think that it was a gateway almost, I think I want to say.
Right.
But I'm not against it. I don't look at myself any different. I don't know. I would do it again. So, I mean, I guess if that could be the question, I would definitely do it again. I'm not against the life. I'm not against the game.
Good
But there's a
money.
reason for it, and there's always a story behind it.
Right. Do you want to say what yours was?
I think it all started. So I was sexually assaulted when I was 15 years old, by an older guy that I was talking to. I'd gotten kicked out of my mom's house I literally forgetting my fucking cartilage pierced.
Strict dog.
I guess it was the principle behind it because my mom told me I can't go get it, and I pretty much just told her, yeah, fuck off, I'm going to get it. And my mom kicked me out of my house for it. And so I started hanging out with an older crowd. And I ended up getting sexually assaulted at 15. And I feel like that changed me as an individual completely. Even now, 10 years later, being in relationships with people, how I am as a person or how I hold myself. And like I said, I think it was like a validation type thing. I don't know. When you get raped, it changes you as a fucking person, I guess you could say. And it's weird because a lot of people, you either get raped and you never fucking talk to or touch a man again, or you get raped and it like almost puts you into that sex industry. A lot of females, a lot of strippers. And not just that, it makes you in control of the situation.
Right.
It takes
That
your
you weren't
woman
in
power,
before.
pretty much. Like getting sexually assaulted takes everything from you. I looked at myself completely different.
Right.
You don't feel like a fucking women, you feel worthless as fuck. And again, um, like I said, I then had control over the situation. At that point, I'm taking your money. Like, like now I'm in control. And I think
Right.
that's kind of why I did it, to be honest.
Right. What a life. I, you know,
Thanks. So what a
not
lie.
like that. You have to understand from my perspective of somebody like me. I have never, uh, I've never been in anything like that. I've never been in the game.
Right.
So for me, like I don't understand it. So hearing like your perspective behind why your reasoning behind it, like it's not just because I want to go out here and make money and shake my ass. Like
No.
it's
I want
bigger.
power.
And it's bigger than that.
I want power, bitches.
Right. Who was your first love?
His name was Riley.
Riley Gonzalez?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So that's who I lost my virginity to. We got together my freshman year of high school. My first kiss was a random boy at the river, like I said, but Riley was really like the first person that I kissed or did anything with or lost my virginity or any of that. And I was like madly in love with this boy. Like straight up, I went through like the worst depression of my life when we broke up. Mind you, the way we
When you're
broke
in
up
middle school
or
and you
high,
break up with somebody or somebody
oh my
breaks up
god,
with you, it's the end of the fucking world.
I thought we were getting married.
Literally.
But no, he cheated on me and had sex with this girl at a party on a fucking toolbox. And so everybody at school the next day was like calling him toolbox and like all this shit. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is everybody talking about? And then they were like, just letting you know, Riley cheated on you and had sex with this bitch at a party last night.
On a toolbox.
On a toolbox. But yeah. And then right after that, he got with this girl and they've been together ever since.
True love.
True love.
Wow.
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That was my young self.
What was it like living in Hawaii? Because
Dope as fuck. No.
right, well
Mixed.
that's right, because that's what you hear from everybody
Right.
is
No,
dope as
it's not
fuck.
dope as fuck.
Right.
First off, locals are fucking mean. They don't like us. Second off, it's super hard to get a job there. And third off, we had a whole different plan going to Hawaii. So I was engaged with Sanjaya, and we went there and we were supposed to go live. So his grandfather owns like so many fucking properties on the island. It's stupid. And so our impression was that we were going to go work for his grandfather and we were getting a house like in return of it pretty much.
Right.
So we didn't have to pay rent. No, we fucking got there and he put us inside of like
A shack.
no, before we were in the shack, we were inside of his house. And it was like in the tiniest room in fucking America. And there was lizards. Oh my god. There was lizards everywhere. And oh my god. I remember I got stuck because the shower was like outside. Like I don't know how to fucking explain it, bro. But it was like outside and I remember calling my mom literally sobbing because there was a fucking lizard on the door handle so I couldn't get out. Oh my god. Yeah, no. Hawaii.
And she'll wait there all day
Oh,
until
I
somebody
will
comes
wait
and
all
gets the
motherfu-
fucking lizard.
No, literally I was crying. It was it was terrifying. My mom's like, I'm literally hours. What do you want me to do? I'm like, talk me through this.
Literally.
But no, Hawaii was dope as fuck though at the same time. A lot of cool memories. My favorite animal is a turtle, so I seen a lot of fucking cool ass turtles. And I think I took it for granted because shit, I would go back any day. The mainland fucking sucks.
Right. Well, I guess that goes in with my next question. What's your biggest fear? And I think I want to ask mainly because this girl's biggest fear
Like I'm not fucking
is
kidding.
the silliest, like,
But it's
go.
not.
Okay.
My biggest fear is fish. Like I am petrified of fish. Like I do not swim in any lakes, rivers, oceans, nothing. petrified of fish. Like, I will kill a spider. I will.
This
Nope.
bitch means
Ew,
like
I'm literally
it
getting
doesn't
goosebumps.
matter if it's a guppy.
Nope.
Like
I don't give a fuck. Nope. 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 You can fucking rob my ass with a fish. Like, no. Oh my god. I'm like getting chill. Ah, that's so fucking gross.
this fucking.
Disgusting. Christmas Eve night.
It was Christmas Eve night.
Fuck, dude. Okay, so it was Christmas Eve night. So and so hits me up and was fuck. Was like, hey.
We will call him.
Yeah, he needs a name. Fucking Bob.
Chad.
Chad.
Bob Chad.
Fucking Chad. Okay.
Chad.
So, Chad.
He is a Chad.
He is a fucking Chad. Chad hits me up. Okay, mind you, before this, we were like,
If Chad
texting.
thought I hated him before, Chad, I hate you now, just so you know.
Okay, so me and Chad were like texting, Snapchatting, all this stuff for a minute beforehand, okay? Christmas Eve night comes and he's like Snapchatting me or whatever. Hella gifts that homeboy needs to wrap, okay? It's like it's probably like 11. And I'm like, dog, you know Christmas morning's like right around the corner and your son
16 hours away.
and your son needs to wake up, like what the fuck, and open these presents. So he's like, do you want to come over and help me wrap these presents? So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, so go over there, helping homeboy wrap presents, and
He's like, you're a mom. I know you got that good wrapping hand.
And so obviously things progressed, okay, and we go upstairs.
Well, did they?
Okay, so we go upstairs. Mind you, backtrack real quick. His son was sick as fuck, okay? And one,
I was about to say pour his name, but I remember we're not.
we can't name dropping. His son was sick as fuck, and I, as a mom, brought hella fucking medicine, okay? Like, I brought him cough medicine, I brought him, like, chest rub, like, the whole fucking 9 yards, okay? Like, mind you,
She put onions
before
in his
this,
socks.
shut the fuck up. Like, a couple days before this, I had went over there, and he was literally up all night coughing, so I was like, homeboy needs some medicine, okay? So, we go there, okay? I'm wrapping presents. We go upstairs, and I literally ask him, I'm like, hey, does your son need medicine? Like, we should probably give him some medicine.
He's up a lung inhaler, dude.
he's like, no, he's fine. He's sleeping. He'll be good, okay? So, we go upstairs, and he tells me, my baby mama... Okay.
Stop.
He's like, my baby mama just texted me. She wants to come smoke a bowl. Okay, let me say this man lives in fucking Egypt,
dude.
Like
Like, he lives in Trail. Okay?
He lives
if you live
Falls.
in, like, oh my, yeah.
He
lives in past Trail.
Yeah, he lived fucking far, okay? And I'm like, she wants to come smoke a bowl? And he's like,
Mind you, this girl lives in town.
He's like,
And for a time, from Butte Falls to...
it's like a solid 35-minute drive.
Butte Falls to Eagle Point is a 35-minute drive. Butte Falls to Medford is like 45 minutes to an hour.
No, because it took me like 35 minutes to get there.
Yeah, it's about an hour. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's so fucking bonkers.
For this to be my worst sex story and it be the furthest fucking time I drove. No, anyways. So I'm like, she wants to come smoke. Like, what? And he's like, yeah, she just quit, so she threw all of her shit away. And I'm like, there's nobody in town that will smoke her out? Like, what the fuck? Again, so I'm like, we're not together. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you who can and can't.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck, but that's weird.
Baby mama it up.
Right. So I'm like, okay. And I like look at it. I'm like, so what are we going to do about like my car? And he's like, it's fine. We'll just leave it. I'm like,
Tell him it's the roommate.
pretty much. And so I'm like, okay. So I go upstairs and I go and lay in bed, right? And wait for him. Yeah. And I called Jordan. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? What is going on right now?
Well, she calls me and she's like, can you validate something for me really quick? If one said person lives here and another said person lives here.
Is this weird?
Is this weird? Like, would you drive all the way that far to just hit a bowl? I was like, with all due respect, they're fucking.
100%. Okay, so I'm like, this is fucking weird. And I fucking go upstairs. Okay, a homegirl comes, smokes a bowl, leaves. Doesn't even check on her sick son. That's the only thing that I question, because me as a mom, like, that would have been my first thing. Like, so where's my son? How is he feeling? But anyways, on you. She leaves, right? He comes upstairs and he starts.
No, that's my first instinct. I don't give a fuck if my kid is staying the night at a friend's house. I don't care.
Right.
Baby daddy's house. It's you go and see your kid. That's
weird.
Weird.
So homegirl leaves, okay, and he ends up coming upstairs and he's like, "Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I just think that's kind of weird, but
we're not together."
Right, so. And you do you. I don't know how you and your baby mama's situation is, but yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So we go start making out, doing the thing.
Right.
And homeboy literally homeboy can't like get up. Okay? And I'm like, is there something wrong with me?
Like, right. You're like, why can't you get it up right now? I feel like self-conscious.
And when that happens, like, I don't give a fuck what kind of female you are. You're self-conscious as fuck. Like, the first thing you're thinking of is like, what's wrong with me?
Period.
Like, I start stressing. Like, I'm like, yikes. Okay, so I'm like,
you're like, well, we're never hanging out again.
Pretty much. Okay, so I'm like, we're fine. Like, kind of make out with him, brush him off, Homeboy ends up falling asleep. Okay, so I end up passing out. Mind you, the night before, we stayed up pretty much like all fucking night. So I was so tired. So I end up falling asleep. So about like an hour and a half later, bro, his son starts hacking a lung. Okay, like, it was sad as fuck, honestly. Okay, like coughing so fucking hard. And as a mom, instantly I wake up, right? And I'm like sitting there just watching him. Like,
is he breathing?
Literally, okay? Like, is he breathing? Like, what the fuck? And so I look at Chad and I'm like, Chad ain't fucking budging. I'm like, Chad! He's still like not moving. So I'm like, bro, what the fuck do I do?
Dead asleep.
Okay, so I'm like, bro, what the fuck do I do? And this isn't my kid, right? Like, I'm not gonna give a kid that's not mine medicine. If someone were to do that to me, I'm whooping your ass, right? So I'm like, I literally don't know what to do, right? He ends up like kind of like waking up a little bit, and finally I'm like, bro, so and so is coughing a lung, like,
your kid's about to die over
literally,
here.
Like he's crying, wake up. So he ends up waking up and puts him in bed right next to us. And I'm like, if this can't get any worse, bro, like, he's coughing so hard and I want to sleep. Like, this ain't my kid. Like, oh. So this is when I go on Facebook and Jordan is active. And I'm like, thank you, praise Jesus, hallelujah. And so I text her and I'm like, bro, please tell me you're fucking awake. And she's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, dude,
save me.
Literally, I'm like, please save me. I don't know what the fuck to do. And so I start sending her videos, right? And I'm like, okay, literally, I'm in like a space, I'm not over exaggerating, like 6 inches, dude. Like, the up against the wall, head on my shoulder, like
hood on, mind you. So she like she FaceTimes me and her hood's on and she's like hiding in a corner. Mind you, I'm thinking like something happened. I'm like, is everything okay? And she's like, yes, but no.
I'm like, bro, I need to get out of this house. And I've never like up and bounced when someone's sleeping before, so I had like anxiety, dude. So I'm like,
mind you, it was 4 a.m.
Yeah, like it's middle of the morning, middle of the morning, I guess you'd say.
Middle of the night.
Middle of the morning. And I'm like, dude. And so I have her on FaceTime and I freaking mute her. And I'm like putting on my shoes, like hella quiet. I'm like, oh my God. I go open the door. Bro, the fucking roommate walks out and he's like, hey. I'm like, hi. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like,
Bailing.
going home. My son is sick and I need to go pick him up.
She calls me and she's like, what do I say? Like, what do I tell him? And I'm like, tell him that
I need to go get your son.
you have to go get your son. Your baby daddy's being a piece of shit and called you in the middle of the night and was like, you know what? I can't do it. Come get him.
And so I up and leave and I text him and I'm like, hey, I'm super sorry my son was sick and I needed to go be a mom, something that you should have been doing this whole time. And we have never talked since.
No, literally.
We've talked. He asked me, he was like, do you hate me? Like, did I do you wrong? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, you did. But
first of all, it's just cool. Like, go over it. Like, you had your baby mama drive an hour from town to my house just to hit a bowl. And then have me hide in the room with your son, who I thought was going to get us caught because, well, duh, any fucking parent comes and checks on their fucking kid. No.
It was an all-around bad situation. By far, worst sex
You're like,
story.
I don't hate you, but I'm good.
But we don't see eye to eye.
I'm chilling.
No, I'm good. Thank you for the offer. It wasn't even good sex, so there's no reason for me to come back.
Period.
But it really sucked because I had a crush on him for so long. Literally so long.
I went to high school with him and can't relate.
I know. He was like, Jordan hates me.
I do not like him. Ratatouille is part of a reason why I don't like him.
They both all around suck.
They're sucky people. Chad and Ratatouille.
You suck.
You suck. Honestly. Moving on. I want to hear the story about the time that your baby daddy accidentally, was it accidentally? Chopped your hair off? But he chopped your hair off.
Oh my god. Okay, so, bro, my hair still hasn't grown since, okay? You know what's fucked up too?
Dude, November's hair used to be like
down to my ass.
Yeah.
Like long.
Hips.
Okay.
Like, beautiful.
What's crazy is like a week before this, I literally have a Snapchat. I'd have him take a picture. I'm like, my hair's the longest it's ever been. Okay. I get pregnant. And if you've been pregnant, then you know, like, weird shit fucking irritates you. Okay. And my dead ends were one of them. Okay. And I live in Pennsylvania with Daryl. And I'm like, babe, I need your help. He's like, what? I'm like, I need you to cut my hair. He's like, you need me to cut your hair? I'm like, yeah, okay, not cut it, like trim it. And I remember telling him, I'm like, literally like barely any, like less than an inch. Just cut the dead ends off. Just barely any.
Just give it a
little
snip,
trim, okay? Like
snip, snip.
Barely any. This motherfucker, and I'm not over exaggerating, we fucking measured. He cut 2 feet of my fucking hair off, bro. Literally up to my shoulders, okay? Butchered this shit. And I remember as soon as he, like, cut that one, bro, my hair hit the back of my leg. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm like, how much did you just cut? He's like, not that much. Quit chilling. Like, quit freaking out. I'm like, okay. Cut again. Boom. Hits the back of my leg. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And I flip it in front of my thing, literally barely over my shoulders. And I start bawling, like sobbing. 'Kay?
Mind you, she looked like she had a butcher cut. Like, she looked like somebody, like, laid her hair down on the butcher table and just took a knife and just started chopping.
It was so bad.
So
and
bad.
I'm pregnant, okay? So I'm already an emotional fucking wreck. I'm pregnant. I'm far away from home, and you just chopped off all my fucking hair. And when you're pregnant, you already are becoming self-conscious. Weird things are happening to your body, you
Right.
know? I cried. And here we are, like, fucking 4 years later, and my hair has barely grown.
Well,
And
you want me to be honest? It's
He
'cause
never-
you are a blondie now.
Yeah, that
and
is true.
You
And
dye it.
to this day,
Same with me.
Daryl thinks that he did nothing wrong. He literally is like, I don't know why you're so mad. You don't know why I'm mad.
Because
You don't
cut
know
off my
why
fucking
you
hair
chopped
off, you
off
stupid
my
prick.
hair. Like, chopped it completely, all of it chopped. Wild, bro.
Wild.
Wild.
Who do you look up to the most?
My sister Michaela.
I figured.
By far. Growing up, it was my cousin Kendra. When I was little, I always wanted to be just like her. But I want to say within, I don't know, me and Michaela went through some shit. And we didn't talk for like 7 years. But ever since I became a mom, and even before then, I always looked up to Michaela. She's one badass fucking mom. Any question that I have, Michaela's there for me. Anything that I can go through, she's there for me. She never judges me at all.
I definitely look up to her like as a mom. She's
a
like
badass
rock
fucking mom.
star
She
mom.
literally is a
Like
superhero.
PTA fucking she is the mom. Like
she's a superhero.
mm-hmm.
But even besides that, the way that she holds herself, the way that she's really the only fucking successful caster. She's not a caster no more. She's a salser. But she's like the only successful one we got. She has bought in her house. She is married to a dope ass, literally like my favorite brother-in-law I have. Has 3 amazing kids. So definitely my sister. Out of anybody in my life.
All right. Last one, and I know that this one is going to make you cry. Have you ever been in love? Like, truly in love? I mean, I know you've been engaged to Sinjaya, but, I want to know if you ever felt love.
Yes, I have. We're going to try not to cry. I met someone named Andrew. And from day one, we were like 2 peas in a pod. People have said, I'm like trying not to cry. When you meet the one, it's almost like you don't see a flaw in them, right? Like
it's like, here's how I explain it. Like, even their BO
literally, like,
doesn't stink.
Like, straight up. And I know people are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, on some real shit.
Period.
I could not find a flaw in this man. At all. Like, the way he held himself, the way that he loved me, the way that he loved others. He truly was the brightest fucking soul in my life. And unfortunately, he overdosed 5 months ago. And I had never in my life have felt the kind of love that I felt with him. We never argued. We never fought. Anytime we were with each other, it was like nobody else was in the room. And like I said, when you're little, you hear about these things and you kind of like laugh about it, like, yeah, okay. But it was real life. Like, I remember kissing him and it was like literally the world went dark when I was with him. He was the only one in the room.
Like all sounds, all people, all everything around you just kind of vanishes.
Literally quiets down. Yeah. He literally was perfect in every way. I was blessed to meet my soulmate, and I 150% believe that man was my soulmate. And a lot of people don't get to meet them. And I got the pleasure of meeting them, and I got the pleasure of at least experiencing that type of love for a part of my life. As though it didn't last as long as it should have, I still got to experience it, and a lot of fucking people in the world don't. But I'll never understand why he's gone or why it happened. A lot of people say, things happen for a reason, and I've never been one to believe it. I know a lot of people do, and I praise you for believing it. I wish I did believe in something like that, but I don't. I've had a lot of things happen to me, and I'll never understand the reason behind it, and this is one of them. He had a lot of demons, but he really was the happiest fucking person. Like, truly lit up the room when he walked in, never, like, woke up just happy as can be. Like, really.
The pictures that I see of him, because I never had the pleasure of meeting Andrew in person, but the pictures that I see of him, this guy has the biggest smile you have ever seen in your life. And I mean the most, like, contagious, like, just makes you
$1,000,000 smile, literally.
Absolutely. Like, it just makes you want to smile. It's so contagious. And I had never even met him before.
His energy was just like that too. Like, when Andrew was in the room, you knew Andrew was in the room. And he can make anybody laugh. Literally the funniest person I know. Like,
we do medium readings with our girl Lindsay, which we want to try and do an episode with her on and just kind of touch on that. But each and every one of these readings that Andrew comes through for and talks to November on, he is one of the funniest people I've ever met, and I've never met him.
And that's what's crazy too, is that, like, if you can think of someone when they've passed, their energy being so strong and being able to be so funny, and they've passed, just imagine when they were here. You know what I'm saying? And, like, there's some people in this world that are just naturally funny, bubbly people, and he was one. And I appreciate him for everything that he's done, and I appreciate his family for giving me the time that I got with him.
His family treated you really, really good afterwards, like after he had passed away, right?
Yeah, I'm still very close with his family. It's crazy because I had never met his mom or his family when he was still here. I have a video of me literally sitting outside of his mom's house. I went to go pick him up, and I'm like having a full-on panic attack, like straight up, like could not breathe, fanning myself like I'm going to pass out. And he was like, "My mom just wants to meet you," and I'm like, "But no, like I cannot meet her." And I don't know what happened. Something had happened. I think she, like, wasn't ready or something. And so I didn't end up meeting her that day. And the day that he passed away, it was the hardest fucking day of my life. And she had messaged me and was like, "Hey, Andrew talked a lot about you." And it was always positive. And so she knew who I was and I knew who she was, but I think that it finally hit me that, like, our love really was strong, and it really meant something to both of us when his mom and his family and everybody knew me without me knowing them.
Right.
Like, when I went to the celebration of life, so many people came up to me and they're like, "You're November." Like, yeah, that's me. Like, what up? But yeah, I think that was the time that I truly was in love with someone.
Yeah.
Was with him. And it sucks because I don't think I'll ever find that.
That was my next question.
Ever.
If you think, you'll, I mean, I know you think you'll find love again, but not like that.
Ever. And it's hard because I don't think I can ever really, like, move on. I feel like every time I talk to someone, they're nothing like him.
Right.
And so it's rough, but we shall see where we go in life, I guess. Like, I don't wish it upon my worst fucking enemy. That's what I can say.
Rest in peace.
Facts.
Well,
this was a fucking hard episode, bro. Thanks
really was.
for making me cry.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
I'm here for all the tears and happiness and everything, but
I'm not.
Just a little get to know this chick and why she is the way she is.
Yeah, I've been through a lot of shit. I feel like I don't really talk about it, or a lot of people don't know 95% of me, and so a lot of people are like, "She's just a bitch," but there's a reason behind of all this chaos.
Right.
But we'll definitely have to do, like, a round 2 because I have a lot more questions for Jordan. I know Jordan has more questions for me. So
Right.
we'll do another one.
We don't
sometime.
always like to sit and talk your guys' ears off for hours, even though we probably could.
Literally, we could all day.
We love this.
But I don't know what next week is bringing us.
Honestly,
hopefully a guest.
We may bring a Valley guest on next week.
We have to message them and see if they're available.
Right. And I mean, do you want to say her name so we can introduce?
No, we'll wait.
Okay. We have 2 more guests that we want to have on this season if we can, but definitely one. And she's just going to come on and kind of
talk about her life. She's fucking crazy.
Yeah, she got crazy life.
She's a wild one.
She is a wild one. We love the wild ones. We are with the wild things over here.
She'll be fun. She got a lot of crazy sex stories and
all the tea.
Her sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend and all the things.
Well, not only that, her sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend and her together. Like it was all together.
Yeah,
so it should be fun.
It'll be a fun one. But
what was not on your itinerary this week?
Oh my fucking god, bro. My fucking car battery died at work, and I just started this job, so I don't really know anybody, and I don't know anything about cars, right? And so I already am like wanting to fucking go home. It's late. I'm like, bro, I just want to go home. And I go get my car, and my fucking battery's dead. I'm like, are you shitting me? So I have to go back in, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say to these. I don't even know these people. Yeah, like I'm way too shy. I don't even know these people. So I go back upstairs and everyone's like, I thought you left. And I'm like, me too.
I was trying. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, and so I was like, my car battery died. Do you think anybody can help me? And one of my coworkers was like, I have jumper cables, but I don't know how to use them. I'm like, yeah, me either. And so your girl's like, my husband's picking me up, so he can help. So we go, and there's like a positive and negative on your battery, right? Mm-hmm. Well, on my car, I just have
red.
It's red and black on mine. Yours is blue?
I don't know. Maybe it is red and black. Keep going. I think it is red and black.
I have a positive.
I don't do car stuff either, so just don't mind my comment. Just keep going.
I have a positive on mine, and then you have like a ground thingy that you have to ground it, and I didn't know that. So I almost blew myself up.
We love that.
But we made it, guys. What was not on your itinerary?
I had a really good one this week, honestly, but I feel like this person doesn't deserve my energy.
They don't deserve my clout.
They don't deserve my clout. You don't even deserve to hasty. You don't even deserve to have
breathe the same air as me.
Period. Bitch.
I'm fucking dead.
And that's on Ratatouille.
I'm dead. I'm glad that we talked
love the code names here.
We'll get so many. We got Chad, Ratatouille, Herbie.
Chad, Ratatouille, Herbie. We got...
Anyways, I hope you guys all have a fantastic week.
Yeah.
I was going to say something. I don't know what it was. Fuck. I hate when Jesse's standing here.
Yeah. God. Jesse, why are you coming in and interrupting the podcast? What do you need? You stress November out. God. You don't stress me out because you've been in my life for fucking 27 years. But this
go home, Jesse.
All right, well.
Everybody have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye.
That was really fast. Yeah, we love you guys. Later.
Bye. The braces. Oh my god, I left them on you.